Hey everyone, just doing a little shop video here today. Unfortunately I can't see the camera, so I don't know if you're commenting or not, or even watching, but just finishing up a couple of Elliott models right now. I got two bodies to finish up from the other night, as well as the sections, so if you don't mind hanging out a little bit and seeing a little bit of what's going on here, be glad to have you. This one here is a commission piece. It's from a piece of Turn Pen Company resin called Lady with Fan. This is Tim's had this out for quite some time. Somebody was picking this up from me, so I wanted to get it done for them as a Christmas gift, so just trying to get it out the door. I'm going to sharpen my cutter up here a little bit. If you hang on with me for a minute. Yeah, that's going to be a lot better there. So the Elliott models are pretty, once I get to this point, these are all threaded, tapped of course, and cut down the size, so just doing some final shaping. The Elliott models are pretty much a straight profile with a rounded end, so I could do this with my cutting tool, but I find it to be a lot easier to just get that nice round over with a piece of sanding block. It's going to be a lot of sanding and polishing today. So this is kind of a typical Saturday for me. Just spent about 4 or 5 hours down here, depending on what else is going on, of course. But not a whole lot happening today. It's a nice day out, sunny, but it's not real warm, so good day to be down here. So with my sanding, I go through about 6 different grits. If it's going to be a low luster finish, at that point, I just clean it up a little bit and it's ready to go. If it is going to be polished, then I will take it over to the buffing wheel, and I go through 3 different grits on the buffing wheel, and then I come back and I just started with to finish off with a diamond polishing paste. So it's a lot higher grit than my buffing wheel is, though it doesn't take up a lot of material. It just sort of puts a nice, puts a real nice glaze on it at the end. So pretty happy with that. Like I said, I started using it a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna have to order a little bit more. I'll probably add it to the routine of my polishing. So this time of year, just sort of my typical day in the shop is mostly just either finishing off my some orders that came in, or starting to get some inventory for next year for the shows. Of course, anything I'm making right now as for inventory is going to be available immediately, but if not, it'll go to the shows with me next year. First show of the year is the Philly Pen Show. It happens kind of towards the middle of January. Can't remember the exact dates off the top of my head, so if you're in that area and you want to check it out, I think it's phillypenshow.com. The next show I do after that is Baltimore Pen Show. Baltimore is a little bit bigger of a show. It's not like a DC or San Francisco size, but if you're going to one of the smaller shows around the country and you want something a little bigger but not totally overwhelming, Baltimore's a really nice show to go to. After that, I got a little while off. I'm going to be doing the Triangle Pen Show down in Raleigh, Durham area. That's a really nice show. Small, but I got a lot of friends I've made over the years down there that come out to see me, so definitely on my list, even though it is a smaller show. And then from that point, most of my summer's just going to be getting ready for my big trifecta of DC, San Francisco, and Orlando, which are kind of back-to-back shows. That's at that time of year, I'm pretty much just in the shop anytime I have any free time until I get to until Orlando's over. This material I'm working with now is a custom pour I have. It's a black white and then sort of a clear white that ends up looking like a gray when the black shows through it. I think it's also made for me by Turn Pen Company. It's something anybody could get. It's not just made for me. It's just something I had asked for at one point, and Tim obliged me, which he occasionally will do. And we just joke around with that. Tim's a great guy. He does a lot of stuff for me. One of my I buy more blanks off of Tim than anybody. Not that I don't like the other people I deal with, but just sort of kind of get into your habits and go the same way a lot. And Tim makes a great blank and they sell well, so I'm always glad to work with him. This one here is going to be a low luster finish. Let me give you a look at what it kind of looks like. This is the cap I did the other night. I hope you can see that. I can't really see, but this is really going to be sharp when it's finished. Other thing in the works for us is, if you're familiar with Tony Palumbo and his FYC Tony, Feed Your Creativity. Sorry, Tony. Feed Your Creativity is her YouTube channel. She has a lot of pen reviews, a lot of reviews, like walkthroughs of pen shows, and does a really nice job. Tony and I are going to start doing an occasional live broadcast. It's not going to be a regularly scheduled event. We're going to try to get one in before the end of the year. We did do one from the Ohio Pen Show just to kind of give it a test run. I think we're going to alternate between our either between our Instagram channels, or if I can get enough followers on YouTube, we will start probably doing it from YouTube and then rebroadcasting it to Facebook afterwards. But either way, we're going to start doing that. So if you are willing to follow me on my YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate that to kind of get my numbers up. I've only done about 4 things there so far, but I don't know how consistent I'm going to be at first, but I'm hoping to kind of upgrade to a little bit of equipment this year and maybe start doing something a little bit more frequently. So we'll see how that goes too. The sandpaper grits that I use here, you see I start off with a yellow one. That's a pretty heavy grit. That just takes off of those cut marks from that sanding block that I used to round over the edge. It really, it's not necessary for the rest of the pen, because when these come off my metal layer, they're relatively smooth. I'm using a 240 grit, 320 grit, then I jump up to 600 and 800, 1000, and then 1200 grit. These are just wet sanding sheets from the company called Matador. I like them a lot. I've been using these a really long time. So if any of the makers out there are looking for a good wet sanding product, I highly recommend that. I have some grits here up to 2,000, and I think they go higher than that, but for my process, I really don't need all that. Just going to clean this off a little bit here with some alcohol. And then This one here, once I put it into the ultrasonic cleaner, aside from the section, that's all I do with my low luster finish. So if you're ever been wondering, that's how it happens. So some sections here are going to be next. Let me change my the mandrel. The different mandrels will hold the different pen parts, and they just go into my. This is a Beal collet chuck. I believe it's an E32 collet. Can't remember. I've had it so long, but so what we'll do here is just get this set up. I'm usually running dust collection here too. That's what this here is. It hooks onto my shop vac, which is sitting right underneath the lathe in this case, but it would be really loud. You wouldn't be able to hear me at all, so I decided not to turn it on today. But so we just set up my tool rest. I do all my shaping by hand on the wood lathe. That's just kind of my preferred method. Nothing wrong with doing it on the metal lathe by any means. It's just same finished product. I started using wood lathes when I started making pens. That's just where my comfort is. I never explored much into actually shaping on the metal lathe. I probably should at some point, but for now, this is how we do it. And now I'm just setting my caliper to the diameter that I want to turn these down to. Of course, these diameters at the end are going to be pretty approximate, as once you start sanding, it's really hard to tell exactly how much you take off. But I start off with about a 10.95 millimeter pinch on there. That one's fit just about perfect. And this is the heavier grit I use. The first sandpaper. This is a Mirka Gold. It's a paperback, dry sanding only paper. The reason I get this is just mostly for price. I go through a lot of it, and I can get a lot of sheets. And this is by far not my finish, so it's not as critical to me that I have a super high quality on that first sanding pass. As with the Matador, again, I could definitely get cheaper wet sandpaper, but I really like this stuff. It does a really nice job. It takes off all those lower scratches. This blank here that I'm working on, this is the pen I showed the other night. This will be on my Instagram page if you want to take a look at it. This is going to be available. I have no idea where I got this blank. Sometimes, we pick things up at pen shows or in trades with makers, and I don't know who made it. I don't know when I got it. I've had it for a while. I've been meaning to do something with it, so I finally figured it was time. These sections here, these are all going to be box sections. Two of these pens I'm working on. The Lady with Fan, and then you'll also see coming up a green Satis Refraction by Enigma Stationery. Those are already sold. The other two, which is this one and the black and white one, they're both going to be available. So if you want to send me a message, if you like either of them, I don't know when I'll get them up on my website. With the holiday coming up and such, it's not a big priority for me to get them onto my website. I have a lot of inventory on there now. But you can send me a message, and I'll be glad to send you an invoice for it. I can get it out to the mail for you next week. My website, if you're interested in looking around and don't know I have one, it's rivercitypencompany.com. Be glad to have you over there to take a look. Now this still needs to be polished on my buffing system. We'll take you over there a little bit later. I'm just going to finish up these 4 sections, and then I'll have to shut things down and readjust my camera. And I'll get it back started up for the buffing process if anyone wants to come back and take a look at that. So this is the lady with the fan blank that we just started with before. Hope you guys can see this well. I need to get a better setup for my camera down here that'll hold it a little bit more directly over the lathe. But I hope my hands aren't getting in the way too much here with these pieces. But if they are, I do apologize. And if it's too bothersome for you, don't feel you need to stick around by any means. I get it. A lot of stuff to do. Holidays coming up. Speaking of the holidays, if you're looking to get gifts for anybody and you don't know what to get them, you like to introduce them some custom pens, or if they like my product but you don't necessarily want to spend the full price on a pen, I do have gift certificates on my website in different quantities, starting about $25 a piece up to, I believe they go up to $200. So you could obviously buy a couple different denominations, a couple smaller ones, or just one big one, whatever works best for you. Sort of, I don't know about the other makers. For me, this is sort of kind of a relaxed time of year. As I understand, at least with my customers, they seem more people are buying for themselves than as gifts. Once you start getting towards the winter holidays and that gift-giving season, however you celebrate, it tends to slow down and get a little bit more relaxed for me, which is kind of fine. We work pretty hard through the year, and we all need a little bit of time to unwind. So if you're still sticking in there, if you're new, again, this is Rich with River City Pen Company, and I am just working on some sections and pen bodies here that I started earlier in the week. This is the lady with the fan that I had just done a body for earlier. This is what the polished cap looks like. It's just a gorgeous material. Again, this is made by Turn Pen Company. If that's too close, I'm sorry. Really can't see my camera. That's why I'm not responding to any comments if they are coming up. Not that I don't want to talk to you all, but I'm just not that. I just don't have the tech here in my shop to see what you're saying to me, and I just really had my camera on a tripod and hoping that if anyone's interested in watching and listening to me ramble for a few hours, probably won't be a few hours, but listen to me ramble, that they are just happy enough doing that. So this is what it looks like right prior to polishing. Looks a little glossy probably in the camera because it's wet, but we'll clean that up and get a nice shine on it. And it'll go into the ultrasonic cleaner later tonight, and the hopefully ship out next week, earlier in the week. As far as ultrasonic cleaners, thanks to recommendations from my buddy Jim Hines with Hines Pens, I got I picked up a Vevor ultrasonic cleaner off of Amazon. I got a pretty big one, obviously, because I'm cleaning more than 2 or 3 pens at a time a lot of the time. But they do sell smaller ones. I really found it to be pretty inexpensive, and it worked really well. Highly recommend the Vibor ultrasonic cleaners off of Amazon. I do not have an Amazon shop, or I'm not an Amazon affiliate. I understand a lot of people have some adversities to order off of Amazon. I do understand. I've had this for a while, so obviously I'm not going to stop using it at this point, but they are available there if you are interested. I'm sure there's other places you can pick up the Vibor products also, but definitely recommend them if that's the one you want to go with. I'm sure there's a lot of other good ones out there. If anyone wants to mention in the comments of the ultrasonic cleaner they like, yeah, just jump on in here, and hopefully some of the other people watching along can get some other opinions to look at too. And this is the black and white, white, and kind of a clear white, almost like a milky looking material that appears gray in the blank, or appears silver when you see that black coming through the clear. This one's going to stay in a low luster finish, so it's not going to be polished. My lathe here, if anyone's interested, this is made by Harvey Woodworking. It is called their T40 lathe. I love this lathe. I really hesitate to get it because it's pretty expensive as far as, at least by my standards, but it's a dream. It's a wonderful lathe. It turns up to 4,200, almost 4,300 RPMs at its highest. That's what I do my actual turning with the tools in my dry sand with a 150 grit on. Then I take it down to about 1,400 RPMs to do my wet sanding, which I'm doing now, of course. After this one, I got one more piece, one more section to do, and then I'm going to jump offline here for a couple minutes. Try to get my camera set back up over at my buffing station. This nasty ass stuff here is just water. It's what I use for my wet sanding. I kind of just use it until it gets too disgusting in there, and then dump it out and start over again. But yeah, you can see that was pretty well stained cup there, but keep using the same ones that we're recycling. It's not they just go into the trash all the time. Get a quick wash with some alcohol. Clean it off here about 600-700 RPMs, just to get some of that off of there. And again, these go in the ultrasonic cleaner, so this step's probably really unnecessary, but the old habits die hard. Last blank is the green status refraction. I haven't shown you this one yet. I'm just going to show you what it looks like finished up and polished. It's kind of nice, pretty opaque, but still a little translucency green with some sparkles. This is made by Enigma Stationery. Dan, Michelle, and Penn out of San Francisco area. They used to make a lot of pen blanks. I don't know how, don't seem to make as much anymore. They do a lot more of they're much more of a stationary shop now. If you go to the San Francisco Pen Show, I'm sure you've seen them there. Great family. If you haven't checked out their shop, definitely worth a stop. A lot of neat products that they carry. kind of hand-selected products that they like to use. A lot of stuff from small shops. I know at the pen show every year they usually work with a pen maker to create a show special pen. I did have the opportunity to do that with them a couple years ago, and I also supply them with some nib holders made out of their materials. They're great to work with. I really like them a lot. I like all you guys a lot. They're just such a nice family. They were very supportive of me a few years back. You've been around following me for a long time. You know I got laid off for about a year back at the end of 2022. They were just such a big support to my business at that time. I really can't thank them enough, and I do not forget them for that. So, all right, I'm going to turn the camera off here, finish off this piece, and then get set up, and we'll go over to the buffing station, and I will show you that. So for everybody who's hung in here with me for the last, I don't know how long I've been here, maybe half hour, give or take. Appreciate you stopping by. If you want to watch a little bit of buffing, I know it's not real exciting to me, any of this. It's just sort of kind of day-to-day stuff. I know a lot of people do like seeing the process stuff, so I'm going to try to start doing more of that. No promises, but and I'm going to put an effort into attempting to get more stuff like this out for you all. So again, thanks for watching. Stop back probably about 10-15 minutes, and I will be moving on to that. Bye, everyone.